Carmel Mission in Monterey, California. I'm here with one of the docents, Charles. Charles, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, this is, it was founded in Monterey, but this is Carmel now. We're in Carmel now. My name is Charles Robinson. I'm one of the local docents here. There's quite
Mr. Robinson, can you tell us a little bit about the Carmel Mission's founder?
Well, it was founded by Father Winipra, and this is the second mission, classified as the second mission, but he originally landed in Monterey 1 year earlier. And since he was a Franciscan and had about obedience, he had to get permission to move here, and he did in 1771, 1 year later, because of the land was more fertile here. There was separation between the soldiers and the Indians, and the Carmel River was close. So they moved here 1 year later. Now, Father Winipra was born in 1713 in Mallorca, Spain, and he was very intelligent. He became a professor very early in life. He was a Franciscan, so he had three vows: poverty, chastity, and obedience. And so he taught in the university over there for 17 years and volunteered when he was 36 to come to the missions. And he did come when he was 36, landed in Veracruz, and then traveled to Mexico City. During his voyage, he got bit by some kind of an insect, and it infected his leg for the rest of his life. So he would walk with a limp for the remainder of his life. He worked for 19 years in northern Mexico. He was assigned 6 missions up there. They call it Sierra Gorda up there, and he was good at what he did. And so when they wanted to populate Northern California, he was a prime candidate to do that job.
This is the beautiful interior of the Carmel Mission. And behind us you can see the altar. Charles, has it always been this beautiful and this intact?
Well, actually, the mission functioned very well. Father Winipra died in 1784, and he was buried in the 5th church. This is really the 7th church, but it's built on top of the 5th church, so he's buried in here. But the mission functioned very well, and there were 900 Indians at the time of his death that were incorporated in this system here. But now when Mexico won their independence, because Spain was having trouble in Europe, they won their independence in 1821. So after they got their government together, by 1834, they had decided to secularize or take out of the hands of the church all of the land, the mission lands, their agriculture and their livestock, and even the mission buildings. So in 1834, the missions ceased to be members of the church. Now, in this particular case, there was a priest that hung around until 1840, and then he was the last one to leave. So now the mission became very inactive, and as a result of the land grants, the Mexican land grants, and there were 850 land grants given to different favored people.
Is it a practicing church? Every day people come here?
It is a practicing parish. We don't have Mass every single day in here. We have a lot of Masses starting Saturday night through Sunday night in here. On Saturday, we have very regularly, we have like three weddings. During the week, sometimes if there's a funeral or something, we will have that. But in the little chapel on this side, they have daily Mass at 7 o'clock and 8 and 12 o'clock every day in the side chapel. And on weekends, it is here for weddings and for funerals.
I'm standing here with a statue of the founder of Carmel Mission, Junipero Serra. Junipero Serra is considered the founding father of California. In fact, the California Congress, when asked by Washington, D.C. to send a symbol of California, sent a smaller version of this statue, which now sits in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., representing California. Father Junipero truly believed what Christianity taught, where salvation comes through Christ alone, and decided to dedicate his entire life to spreading the truth that he was completely convicted of. So he left Spain and traveled to Mexico, was given a grant by the Spanish king to start all the missions in California, a total of 21, and dedicated his life over 50 years to spreading the truth that he was completely convicted of, that Christianity was the way, the truth, and the life, and everyone needed to hear it. The Spanish were unique in the way that they set up their missions throughout California and the New World. Whereas on one side of the spectrum, we see the French coming in and completely assimilating with the Native Americans, taking on their traditions, marrying into their tribes. And on the other side of the spectrum, we see the English coming in and completely demolishing the Native American culture and pushing them off their land. The Spanish came in with the intention of not assimilating completely, but living with the Native Americans and teaching them what they thought was best with Christianity and European culture. So the Spanish came in and they started this mission, and they taught the Native Americans Latin and Spanish, and also very European trades such as candle making, musician, and painter. And in this way, the missions were very unique and set up the Native Americans for success when European powers came in later on. Right now we're standing out in the courtyard of the Carmel Mission. Charles, can you tell me a little bit about the community that the Carmel Mission created? It was more than just a church, wasn't it?
Well, this was, right now it is a functioning school. There's 120 students here, but this would be, there was a fountain here, and early on they could bring the livestock through those doors over there, and they could water the livestock. They could collect water for food or washing here. And what they did, at the time, the Indians, most of them were, the ladies would wear a little apron. The men were basically naked. So they taught them how to wear clothes. So they would have different shops, and it took a while to build these up, but they would have a shop where they could weave cloth and where they could make candles, and where they could make soap, and where they would prepare food, and where they would do blacksmithing, and where they would do leather tanning. And so this was a little community. And then also they had little areas where the maiden Indians would live. They would be separated from the male Indians. And at the time of when Father Winipper died in 1884, there were 900 Indians incorporated in here, and they all didn't live in here, but probably a lot of the ladies or the maidens would live in here.
Were a lot of the skills that the Padres taught the Native Americans useful later on when California was integrated to Mexico and later America?
Well, when an Indian would decide to be baptized, he would incorporate himself into the mission system, and then he would be given a job. And the bells would ring at 6 o'clock, and they would come for prayer. Then there would be breakfast, and then there would be a work assignment. Some in that area, that way there were large fields of agriculture, and some would be assigned there. We had, at the time of Father Winipper, we would have maybe 5,000 cattle and 3,000 sheep. People would be assigned to work with the animals. And also there was construction going on. Now, functioning a little city. Early on when the mission started, they depended on a ship. There would be 2 ships from Mexico City every year, and they would land in Monterey. And then in those early years, they had to use those supplies to keep the mission functioning, to feed everybody, and until the next ship came. Now, when the agriculture started growing and the herd started growing, then they became very self-sufficient. So when Father Winipper died in 1784, this was self-sufficient, and they didn't need any help from Mexico City.
For the past 300 years, natives, Mexicans, Americans, and pilgrims have found peace and comfort in this mission. The spirit of the original founders lives on by the bilingual masses held here every Sunday. In 1961, Pope John the 23rd came over and designated this as a minor basilica. Throughout the years, people have come here and found comfort and this generation has done an excellent job preserving the impact that Father Junipero had on California and the local area of Carmel Mission and Monterey.